got that camera. So on a
Yeah,
big
yeah.
TV,
Well, I don't know how it
I
looked on your thing, but it's a little fuzzy like person.
well, last week we had to use this camera.
I got you. I got you.
Yeah. So we're live now. So let's just let it build up a bit. There we go. Yeah. So last week it was all messed up. Nothing worked. So we put the computer way over there. The sound was real bad, but
it worked.
All right. All right. If you're just tuning in, we're 23 seconds in. Latitude Ranch podcast guest Michael Skipper. Skip, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah,
It's good to see you again.
Oh, yeah.
Before we get started, I just got some announcements I want to make. I think I kind of screwed up dates on the deconflict. Yeah, Skip's got a shirt. Check that shirt out. That shit's dope.
Yeah,
Stands out. Hey, so I thought opening day Saturday was the 13th. It's actually the 12th. So I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. I'm going to get with Hunter, Owen, and Dave Bradley and see. If not, we're just going to have to run it on Sunday.
I mean, I think everybody is assuming opening day. The numbers different.
Yeah,
12
yeah,
13,
yeah.
But
Yeah,
I think you'll still be all
right. Yeah, I hope so. There's that, and then you know what? I'm going to hold off on that. Maybe we'll just talk about it in the podcast. Yeah, whatever. So let's get to it, man. So what the hell? How you been?
Been good, been busy.
Yeah.
I mean, as y'all have been too.
Man,
it's that time of the year, money making season.
Yeah, I've been wide open, man. I'm up since 4:00 this morning, not work wise. I just woke up.
Yeah, I did.
You know, when you wake up, if you go back to sleep, sometimes you just feel like shit. So you just push through, and I felt good till about 30 minutes ago. I was like, damn, I hope Skipper breaks down. But anyway, so last year, the last time you were on, we were still in the big buck contest, and you had pretty much already put one on the board, which eventually did win.
Yeah, that was the winner. The first one was the winner.
Yeah,
because of weight.
Right.
They were a few inches apart in score, but weight.
So would you have had first and second place?
Yeah.
You bastard. The most hated man on Fort Bragg.
Right. Yeah.
So, but yeah, so let's talk about that one. Let's talk about how you stole my deer and killed my deer and followed me around and
man.
all that.
All that good stuff.
That was actually this deer. I stop looking at that. We're supposed to be talking to each other. It's that deer there. That's about 3 years ago. So what age would that have put him at 3 years ago?
All right. So that'd have been 3.5.
3.5 years? That's a big three. What?
He was 6.5 is what they aged him at. If you go by their numbers.
That's a 3-year-old deer? They're wrong, son.
That's what they said. When I killed him, they aged him.
Because the year before that, he would have been 2. He was big. So maybe.
The heavy horn sheds that the Alf guy had, that when he was just a heavy horn, from last season, that would have been 5.5.
Okay.
And then there was a 4.5-year-old set. And then that should have been the 3.5-year-old.
I picked those up, not last season.
Should have been a 21.
Not the season before 21.
Yep.
Because I picked those up before I moved to Texas, if y'all remember that far back. And I put them on that mountain. Now, the story behind that deer, I chased that deer from 2018-ish when he was still a baby. Like he was a good 8-pointer. I just could never get him. I mean, literally, I would be in that same tree you saw my climber at. I would sit in that thing and I would be like, I'm sitting here all day. And I would get till about 10 o'clock. And I'm like, shit, pee, I'm hungry. Fuck it. It started raining this particular day. So I went to the PX about an hour. I came back, but I decided not to go back to the same tree. I went down a little further, towards the ravine down there. And hunted, didn't see shit. Well, the next day I decided to stop by and check my cam. And at like 3 o'clock, he's on my camera right there, almost looking at the camera like I know you're there, son.
Yeah, I appreciate that. See, what was happening was you was all like scent free and whatnot all them years, and he just never knew you were there, so he didn't know to come out. And then I went in there, and he could smell me. He was like, "Oh, there's my boy," Sometimes scent free hurts you.
Yeah,
if they don't know you're there, they're not gonna come out.
So you're driving around Fort Bragg all the time, pretty much looking at my truck.
Yeah.
And if I park there, then you go on Facebook and you see the pictures. Then I'm kind of being serious but funny at the same time.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
I
don't have time to follow you around.
I kind of think like if I am looking at Facebook and somebody is posting a 150, 160, and he can't kill him, and I know what he drives and I know where he's parked, and I know he hunts on Saturday and Sunday, how apt are you to go in there on a Wednesday just to check it out?
If it ain't in my domain, I guess you would say, the areas I reach, I don't bother.
Yeah.
I want everybody to be successful.
I don't.
But when it's in my reach, man, most of the times I have pictures of the deer too.
Yeah.
That's how I know it's the same deer. So
Yeah.
then I know where I'm at. And I
Right.
know where I can prove the deer's at. So then, like you said, like I didn't know that was your shit till we started talking.
Yeah.
But I've known about it for years.
Yeah.
But you never knew I knew about it. You've never seen me there.
Mm-mm.
I just go in there and I do my checking. I ran cams in there too. Got you on them.
Yeah.
I don't say, "Oh, hey, buddy." I don't want you to know that I know.
Yeah.
So when you
yeah.
do post pics and stuff, I'm like, all right, I know where that's
Yeah,
at.
you know where that's
So
at.
then
'Cause
I
you've
can,
been in there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then I can go to where what I do,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can say, all right, well, buddy's having this deer right here, and that's why he's here, or whoever it may be.
Yeah.
This is where I'm at, and what I hope what usually happens. I ain't trying to sound, some type of way, but what usually happens.
Sound it, man. Fucking
What usually
flex.
happens is you push them to me.
Yeah.
Usually that's what happens. Like, especially if that deer's bedding in there and you like to hunt it in the mornings and whatnot, the wind might not be right. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he'll ping a camera where he was there and you went in for the morning hunt.
Right.
And he might have been there in the daylight, feeding or something. You pushed him. And then,
Yeah.
I start, it takes a few times for that to happen for me to develop a deer's pattern.
Right.
Then if I'm going to go hunt one morning, I see a truck somewhere. I'm like, okay, well, he's going to hunt here. If that deer is in there and
the wind's right and all that.
if he happens to push it,
Yeah.
he should go here. And I'll go way down there and I'll sit there and just hope that the deer don't come past me in the dark. Hopefully I'm far enough down and he makes it that far and I can see him in the light.
You're good.
It's a bunch of stuff, man. I mean, it's not always that way.
Social media, posting pics on social media can screw you, but it can also help you if you're familiar with, if you know a guy. Let's say you know a guy. Like I know a guy that's hunting and say, I'm just going to area that I don't hunt is area X. I ain't never hunted there, but I know a guy that hunts there and I see his truck there and I know he hunts there. And then he's posting his pictures up on there and he's chasing a big old deer. I'm probably going to go in there on a Wednesday and just check it out.
If you have the time,
that don't make,
if you don't see, like me, I got enough going on.
Yeah.
So I got, the stuff that I'm worried about, like I was saying in the last podcast, man.
Yeah.
I can't control what you do, what the next guy does, and I don't have time to try to keep up with what I want to keep up with. And
especially when you're running so many cams. Now let's talk about that too a little bit. I shouldn't say that in any type of like that's because you run cams. Like
you say what you want to, man.
You know that some of the posts that have hit Facebook in the last month are kind of directed at you, even though you're not mentioned.
Absolutely.
And I think we touched on this on the last podcast that now that cams are illegal, that now like somehow the playing fields are going to be even and you're not going to be as good. And
man, you can't take what I know from you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with that. It's going to make it harder for me to pinpoint one particular deer, but killing deer in general, it's not going to be an issue.
Right. So like tracking one deer, like going in an area and you know where he's kind of moving, that is going to definitely make it difficult.
Like targeting the big ones, because they don't go to the same thicket every day, come out of the same thicket every day. They're not that patternable. They tend to walk, they tend to reach.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's how they got so big. They don't make habitual mistakes.
But kind of like knowing where, like I know people that put cameras out and they don't get no pictures. So kind of like knowing where to put the cameras.
That helps.
I mean, knowing where to put the cameras to find deer and like where they're going to be. If you take the camera away and you just apply that to, okay, maybe I need to set up here.
Well, see, like what I did was I put cameras out when scouting came in places that I knew the deer weren't going to be until November.
Yeah.
And I relied on my book that everybody picks on me about.